morning, everybody. Um, we're going to be recording this while I'm doing this presentation live. So there might be people that walk in while this is happening, but we will get them caught up, and we're going to go ahead and get started tonight with our um, scholarship training. What this is for the 2026 Texas 4-H Scholarship Training. If you are watching online on Microsoft Teams, or if you are watching this as a video, please type your questions. If you're watching live, please type your questions into the bar and I will get to them at the end of the meeting. Additionally, if you're watching this online, please email me the messages or any questions you might have at mjmiranda@ag.tamu.edu, and I will be able to respond to those at a later time. But if you do type something into the bar at the bottom, then just wait till the end because I'm going to be presenting and recording at the same time, and then I will get to those questions. I will also have some time if you want to ask questions over microphone at the end, you can do that as well. So let me go ahead and share my slideshow. All right, so everybody can see that. What we're going to be talking about tonight is our Texas 4-H scholarship application, as well as our Guadalupe County scholarships and a number of other scholarships that are available to graduating senior 4-Hers. Reason why we do this is because the 4-H scholarship application, it covers a whole bunch of different scholarships. It's over 200 scholarships that you're applying for. It is an involved process, but it's not a hard process if you've kept good records and stuff over the years. So it's not that you have to do a record book or anything like that to qualify for one of these, but it is good for those records to hold on to if you are applying for the scholarship. So we're going to go through the scholarship, the whole process, and then look at some other scholarships afterwards. So first of all, if you're completing applications for these scholarships, for any scholarships, make sure that you talk to your high school counselors. As for the 4-H scholarship, there's going to be something that the somebody from your school has to fill out that attests to your grades. So make sure that you ask them early. And ask often. Sometimes, they're one person for a whole school, so make sure that you're asking multiple times. Also give them opportunity to get it done. Don't ask them, 2 days before it's due and then hound them every hour. Make sure you start asking for some of these things now. Your transcripts, you will have to have, some scholarships require a transcript. So you'll have to have those transcripts prepared in advance. For the 4-H scholarship, when you get the scholarship or when you get your transcript ready for that, you will have to ask for those scholarships after the first of the year because they require all of your fall classes and grades to be on there. A lot of scholarships require essays or narratives. And it's very rare that if you write an essay once or a narrative once that it's super effective. So be sure that you write it, show it to somebody, let them read it, see if it makes sense, and then go to the next one as well. And then write them and rewrite them as often as you can to get them really good. Get prepared for printer problems, computer crashes, issues with the cloud, all those kinds of things. Always keep a backup of all your files. That way you don't have to restart if something happens to it. And as always, start early and edit often. Don't just fill it out at the last second and turn it in because it's probably not going to do well if you don't put any effort into it. For letters of recommendation, it's important that you get letters of recommendation for people that respect your skills and accomplishments, and they're willing to put that in writing. Okay, so we all have either a county agent or an ag teacher or somebody that you know from church, a teacher at school that is familiar with you enough to write you a recommendation letter. I will write recommendation letters for any 4-Her. If you're a 4-Her I don't know quite as well, give me a resume as well or something that has some of the things that you've done on it. That way I can fill that out for you. Also, make sure that you ask early. If you're going to need them for the springtime applying for scholarships, now is the time to start asking for those letters of recommendation. That way they have time to write it. And then give them a couple of weeks. If they don't have it to you in a couple of weeks, then send them a friendly reminder. Or if you can, visit them in person, say, hey, I was just wondering if you could get me that letter. You don't ever want to sound pushy or like you expect them to do it. You want to be as gracious as possible. So give them the time to be able to do that. When you are going to interviews, and if you get one of the interviews for the state 4-H scholarships, we're going to sit down one-on-one and we're going to discuss this. But for any interview that you go to, it doesn't matter if it is for the Luling Foundation, the state 4-H one, or any other scholarship that you do, you need to dress up. Okay. Suits and ties are very good. Don't show up in jeans. Okay. You need to wear slacks or a suit. Girls can wear a pantsuit or slacks and a blazer or a dress. Make sure it's a longer dress, something that you feel comfortable in, that you can sit down easily and not have any issues. But you want, number one, you want to be comfortable, and number two, you need to look professional. Learn about the organization that you're interviewing with. If you're interviewing for a 4-H Foundation scholarship, go to their website and learn about the 4-H Foundation. If you are interviewing, let's say, for instance, the Bartoskowitz Scholarship, um, learn about what the Bartoskowitz Farm Foundation does. Learn about what the Luling Foundation does. If you are applying for a scholarship from somewhere, learn about what they do in case they ask you a question about it. Be sure to review any suggested questions that they send you. Be aware of current events in the world because they might ask a question about that. And then be sure to practice and record yourself. Even if you don't want mom and dad watching you doing your scholarship interview over and over again, um, record yourself. All of y'all have a cell phone. You all record videos for TikTok and Instagram and everything else. So you can record yourself and then watch yourself. And yes, it is a little cringy sometimes. I hate watching myself give a presentation, but it is important for you to do that. That way, you know how you sound and how you can improve certain things if you have certain crutch words or things like that. There are a variety of scholarships available. I have a list in our 4-H website. It's not that guadalupe.agrilife.org. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I hadn't changed it. On our new 4-H website, www.guadalupecounty4h.com, you will go on to that and then click the scholarship button. And starting on Thursday, the 30th, in the evening, we will have that scholarship website updated with all of the things on there. It'll have a copy of this video as well as a number of other things and applications. That way you can get ready to apply for your scholarships. Also, you can check with your school counselors for additional scholarship opportunities. And we are going to be talking about 4-H scholarships tonight. So make sure that you are enrolled in 4-H. Because if you're not enrolled in 4-H and you wait till the last second to get enrolled, then that's going to be a problem. And we're not going to be able to push it through quick enough for you to be able to apply for some of these things. So if you can, make sure by November 1st you are enrolled in 4-H. So first, we're going to talk about the Texas 4-H Foundation scholarships. These are the scholarships that are handed out at State Roundup in June of 2026. Just to start out, there are a few deadlines. Now is the time when you need to apply for the FAFSA. It opened October 1st, or it should have opened October 1st. I know we are in a government shutdown and everything right now, but a lot of that is automated. So go online to the FAFSA website. I believe it's the studentaid.gov website. Apply for FAFSA. If your parents haven't done their tax return for this next year, use this past year's FAFSA or tax information, and then you can always update it for next fall. November 1st, the application opens for this scholarship. By January 27th of 2026, I would like to see your scholarship. If you can send it to me, a draft of it sooner, that's even better because the more times I get to see it, the more I can help you. If you're struggling trying to figure out what to put in a certain section, the more I can come up with some ideas for you or think about different things that you have done. If you are a senior level 4-H'er in Guadalupe County 4-H, I have been here your whole 4-H career. So I remember most everything that everybody has done. So let me look at it and we'll talk about how we do that here in a little bit. The application process, the applications are due February 15th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. So that means it has to be submitted with all the bells and whistles on February the 15th. Now, after that, there's going to go through a prejudging process. And then they're going to pick so many people to go to interviews, which will be in College Station at the State 4-H office, April 24th through 26th of 2026. In May of 2026, you will get an email letting you know that you got a scholarship. Okay. And then you will have to sign up. You have to sign up for the banquets in College Station, which will be June 3rd and 4th, 2026. Um, and those things you will be required to go to. So you are required, if you get an interview, you're required to go to the interview for a chance at the scholarship. If you have something else scheduled that weekend, you're gonna have to move it. This is a chance for up to $30,000. So make sure you don't schedule anything April 24th through 26th, 2026 in College Station. And then June 3rd and 4th, 2026, that is when you will go to your scholarship awards banquet in College Station, and there is no way to miss that either. If there is a special extenuating circumstance, please contact me and let me know. But we're not talking about, oh, I've got another event going on. You're going to have to skip it that day. If it is like a family emergency or something like that, please let me know. A few recent changes to go over. When it comes time for interviews, if you are chosen for an interview, you will be told usually on a Monday that you're going to get an interview. And then they're going to say, okay, on Thursday at this time, the self sign up opens for you to pick an interview time. It is first come, first serve. If you swear up and down you need to go on Friday, you make sure to sign in as soon as it opens and sign up for a Friday time. It is not going to work if you don't sign up for a time and you say, hey, I really needed this day. Is there any way we can switch? It is first come, first serve. So if you sign up late and there's only one or two times left, then you get one of those two times. There is a county extension agent verification form that I will have to sign. You will have to get that signed from me and I'll have to upload it to your portal prior to you clicking the submit button, but we will work on that together. And then the top ranking scholars, the top 10 applications will be invited back for a virtual interview. I don't have a time on that yet, but the winner of that will get a $30,000 scholarship. Just a couple of reminders for the 2025-2026 application. You must submit through the Texas 4-H Foundation scholarship portal. So that is that texas4hfoundation.org and then click scholarships and it'll come up. Most of you will be applying for the baccalaureate scholarship, but there's also Technical and Courageous Heart, which we'll talk about in a second. Once you have found the scholarship you want to apply for, click the apply button and then the application will open. You'll create a personal profile and then you'll create your scholarship profile. So as you can see on here, there is the scoring system and the primary bulk of your application is on 4-H experiences, okay? With that being said, most everybody that applies for these scholarships have lots of 4-H experiences. And that's not to say, oh, you have to have a district position, you have to have a state position or something like that. You don't have to have any of that to get one of these scholarships, okay? You do have to have good grades. So the higher your grades are, the better. There is a part for financial need, but don't think that financial need is going to kick you out of getting a scholarship. Okay. They are academic scholarships first and foremost. There is a Courageous Heart narrative if you're applying for that award, and we're going to talk about that one in a few minutes. And then there's an interview. So they are scoring these scholarships down to the fraction of the point when everything gets done. So it is a very extensive process on the scoring side of things. And so we need to make sure that you have the best application possible when it goes forward to be judged. They are academic scholarships that are awarded based on your academic record in school. as well as your financial need and 4-H experiences. There's about 230 scholarships that are handed out each year, and they range from anywhere from 3,000 to 20,000. Okay. And then there's going to be one $30,000 scholarship. They're hoping to expand that in the future, but for now, it'll be one $30,000. If you apply for the baccalaureate scholarship, that is if you are going to college to have a 4-year degree, a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts. If you want to go to technical school, you can go and you can apply for a scholarship for that. If you're going to TSTC or any other technical school, those scholarships are available for that. And then if you're a 4-H member that has overcome some kind of extreme obstacle, medical, family related, that maybe there was a death in the family, or you had a very serious injury. We're not talking about just like an ACL tear or something like that, but a serious injury that required you to, undergo extensive hospitalization, or, it took a lot of time from the other stuff that you could have been doing in 4-H. You can do that. As an example, like my brother had a surgery when he was in high school to have all his organs taken back out and put back in again. That was a major surgery, and he was down for the count for a long time. And so he could have been able to apply for this scholarship. Okay. So you don't want to apply for the Courageous Heart unless it's something, let's talk about it. If you think there's something involved that we could do that, that's fine. But just be aware that that scholarship is only worth $5,000. Just a few general eligibility requirements. Of course, you have to be a member of 4-H, be a United States and Texas resident. You have to be graduating this next 4-H year, so that would be the 25-26 school year. Made formal application to a Texas college, university, or technical school, and meet all those entry requirements for that school. You have to submit the application, and then they must meet the minimum requirements to be considered for judging. If you don't have all the stuff in there in the application, if you don't have, there's not a minimum GPA, but if you don't have all the things, if you didn't hear back from your school, if you don't have a transcript, don't apply. Okay. You have to have everything in there. Otherwise, they won't, I won't say don't apply, but if you apply without everything in there, they're not going to look at it. Okay. The most important thing to do is to work with me. Let's look over it together. Let's go through the application and make sure everything's there that you need. A couple of frequently asked questions on their website. Can you apply for a 4-H and FFA scholarship? Yes, you can. There are some, restrictions for certain donors, but you can apply for both. I would suggest if you are in both organizations that you do apply for both. Another question. If you receive a Terry Foundation scholarship, can you also receive a 4-H Foundation scholarship? And the answer to that is no. If you receive a Terry Foundation scholarship, that means you have a full ride to whatever college you're going to. In order to give another kid a chance at getting the scholarship, you will no longer be eligible. Now, you'll have lots of 4-H stuff in your Terry Foundation application. So you are still being recognized for, not just your schoolwork, but also for your 4-H work. So if you get that, much applause to you. I hope all of you can apply for it and do get that scholarship, because it's an excellent opportunity. Another question, can I change something in my application after I have submitted it? And the answer to that is no. Once you've submitted it, it is in. So you can't update anything after that. That's why we will go through it together and make sure that everything is there that you need. There is a part where your school counselor will have to complete the GPA certification, and it will tell you in the system if that is working, like if they have done it or not. If they have not, then go visit your counselor in person. Make sure you stay on top of them. Make sure you ask nicely. Daily updates if needed. If it's coming down to the wire and they still haven't responded to you, please let me know. I've had to go to schools before to make sure that it gets done. And then my agent still needs to complete the county agent verification form. If you are applying and you're telling me that you're applying, then I will complete that verification form. But I do want to be able to see your scholarship application to make sure you're getting everything in there that you need to. When you start your application online, there's a screen that looks like this. It's when you start filling out your application. In the top right corner, there is a collaborate button. And so you will put my email address in there, the mjmiranda@ag.tamu.edu. And then I won't be able to submit it for you, but I can go in and look at the things. That way, if you've updated a section, I can look at it and say, okay, I can proofread it and do all those kinds of things. But make sure you do that. That way I know who is applying for everything as well. Um, Again, we already talked about that a little bit, but for the Courageous Heart specifically, you had to overcome some kind of major obstacle that you have to have 3 letters of support detailing how you've overcome that obstacle. And then an additional narrative talking about what happened. And if you have doctors that need to write something, you can have them write it, but they are $5,000. And then the technical scholarship, if you do not have plans to continue education after your technical school, then you'll want to apply for that one. Again, you have to have your 4-H Foundation. You have to go to the 4-H Foundation application. If you are homeschooled, you need to provide an official transcript. If you don't know how to make an official transcript, contact me. I can help you with that. And then you have to have proof of completing any standardized tests that you have to get into college. Some things that you can have to help you complete it: your 4-H record book, the guidelines, which are already released, but the application will be ready on November 1st, your high school transcripts in the springtime, and then the FAFSA. You need the student, what used to be called the SAR, now it's called the SAI. It's the number that your family is expected to be able to contribute. It doesn't matter what that number is, you just have to put it in the box. When you go to this application, like I said, you click the collaborate button. Once you go in there, this will allow me to go in and edit parts of your application if you need help with it, or to look it over and see what I suggest that you add to it. So in the application, there's a number of different sections. Section 1 is all of your personal information, demographics and whatnot. That's all on the form. You'll fill that out. Just in case you don't know, we are in District 10 and in Guadalupe County. Section 2 is where you put down what your college that you're applying to is. Section 3 is your livestock show participation. Some scholarships require that you have participated in a certain livestock show, and so you can put that in there. Section 4 is your individual scholastic record, and so that is going to be where you have your that's kind of where you put all your grades and all that kind of stuff. Section 5 also is where the counselor will go in and submit a form saying, yes, your grades are this and that and whatnot. Section 6 is about financial information. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Same thing with Section 7. That's going to be where you do the bulk of your writing. That is your different experiences, your honors, and all of your narratives. Section 8 is basically a checkbox saying that you're not lying on any of this. Section 7 includes your project experiences, your community service, your leadership, your awards, a personal narrative, and a career narrative. You can either write them in those sections, or, like I suggest, submit a Word form with all of the stuff on there. All of it is limited to 1 page. So I have some templates that I will put on our website that you can download and use. That way it will help you with, trying to figure out what to put in those sections. And then your required attachments are your transcript number 1, and then you have to have your FAFSA report. In Section 6, there's 2 parts of it. You'll upload your FAFSA, and then you have to fill out a financial need narrative. And so this is an essay that you fill out that talks about, basically is saying why they should give you money without saying, I deserve this because. Okay, so you're going to talk about things like the cost of college. Maybe you have siblings that are still going to be in 4-H or that'll be in college at the same time as you. Your parents aren't able to provide as much money for whatever reasons. You can go about it a number of different ways. You can also talk about how you're planning on getting a job in college and you're applying for other scholarships and all those kinds of things. Those are all important things to put in there. Um, in the FAFSA, it provides a expected financial contribution. So that is the number that you're going to need. And it can take 3 to 4 weeks for processing. Remember, we're in a shutdown at the federal level right now. So it may take longer, which is why I would say apply now. That way you make sure that you have a FAFSA report to upload to this. And that is that FAFSA.ed.gov. When writing the narrative, let the judges know why you need the financial aid. Please don't start it as I deserve this money because I've been a good 4-H'er and all these kinds of things. Everybody that's applying for this have been good 4-H'ers. Okay. So, and we know, we tell you this is the time when you need to brag on yourself, but you don't want to say, I deserve this. Okay. Information pertaining to the cost of college can be received from the university's financial aid department. You can look it up on the county catalog or Texas Higher Education Board. You can do a Google search and find out how much it costs to attend whatever college you're going to. And if you're a recipient of any Houston Livestock Show scholarship, you may not receive more than $110,000 in total financial aid. If you get more than that, that is awesome, but that will pretty much cover most of what you are going to have to pay in college. In section 7, there is the project experiences. And with those project experiences, it is 1 page. You list your 4 projects, up to 4 projects that you've done over the years. And what we have it divided in number of experiences on one side, and then the significance of those experiences on the other side. And I have that form, and I will have that on the website for y'all to look at. But be sure to describe the years that you've been involved, knowledge, skills gained, scope of the activity, the level of the activity that you did it, and what all those activities were, and then what you learned for it. Now, this scholarship is for everything that you've done in your entire 4-H career. So if you've been in 4-H for 3 years, you'll do everything you've done in those 3 years. If this is your 10th year, you will put everything in there. It's not like with the record books where you just do the past 4 years. You need to be sure to describe why the projects were important and what impact they had on you and on other people. Okay, those are the kind of things that are important to put in there. For the leadership experiences, it's a little more straightforward. You will list up to your top 25 major leadership roles in 4-H. So that's officer positions, that is volunteer opportunities, that is going to state 4-H things, any kind of volunteer promotion or elected appointed leadership. Be sure to list your roles and responsibilities, the years, the level of involvement that you were involved, and any duties and accomplishments. And I would do them in chronological order. That way you start with the most recent and go back to your beginning. Briefly describe why those activities are important and what impact the applicant's involvement provide to other people. And be sure to put the emphasis on the quality of the experience rather than the quantity. Okay. You know, a quality experience like being an officer is a little bit more important than I led the pledge at my club. I mean, that's great if you are a first year 4-H'er, that's some good leadership. But as you get older, you're kind of expected to take over some things and to help lead some other kids. So that is important to remember. Quality versus quantity. Section 7 also has a community service and citizenship section. And just like the leadership and the project section, these are all limited to 1 page, one standard page on Microsoft Word. So I will send y'all, like I said, I have the templates for that. For community service and citizenship, you'll list your up to 15 major citizenship and community service projects, roles, responsibilities, levels of involvement, duties and accomplishments, impact that it's had on the community, and why it was important to others. Again, emphasize the quality of the project over the quantity. Okay. And then out of all the 4-H awards you may have won, you have to pick your top 4 awards. And you need to put on there the year that you got it and why it's important to you. And the reason for that being, years ago I had a 4-H'er that applied, and he had he'd won Gold Star, he'd won the I Dare You Award, And then he had second place with blue corn muffins at the county fair. And I asked him, I'm like, you've had other awards. Why did you pick this one to be on there? And he said, well, this is the first award I won in 4-H, and it really got me excited, and I wanted to do something the next year. So it doesn't have to be the highest award ever won, but it does have to be important to you. You need to show that it had an impact on you. And that is what they like to read. That's the most important. Section 7 is your outside 4-H experience, and that is also on one page. So if you do church, if you do FFA, if you do sports, cheerleading, football, anything in school, all of that can go in this section. I don't have a real format for that, but I would suggest separating it by the type of experience and by the year, and let us know how often you've done things, what you've done, the impact that it's had, and as well as any leadership roles outside of school. Those all are good things to put in here. If y'all are in FFA, I know y'all have a bunch of things that you've been doing. If you're doing stuff at church, if you're homeschooled and you're doing stuff with a homeschool group, Key Club or National Honor Society or anything like that, be sure to put it all in this section. Another part of section 7 is the personal narrative. And so this is where you write a narrative about any important facts or information that you think the committee should know, how 4-H has affected you, any personal obstacles that you've overcome during your 4-H career. If you have a special 4-H story that you want to share from your time in 4-H, put that in here. Use only the space provided. What I would suggest for this section, I think it's limited to like 3,000 characters. Or 5,000 characters. It'll say in there. So whatever it is, what I would do is I would write it on a Word document first, and then copy and paste into the section. If you don't know what to cut out, then put that in there and let me look at it. I'm good at editing things, so I will help you edit out what is important and what is, sometimes we talk too much if we're really passionate about something. So I will help you edit that if you need the help. Also, ask your parents. They have done, a lot of them have applied for scholarships themselves before, and do stuff professionally where they do this kind of stuff. So make sure that you ask somebody. Don't just rely on yourself, because there's always somebody that can help you. There's also career narrative, where you'll talk about why you have chosen the career that you have chosen, why you've chosen the major that you've chosen. Talk about, I wanted to be a county extension agent, so I wanted to go to a college that I could do that. For instance, I knew when I was applying for this scholarship, I wanted to be a county extension agent, and then I planned on going to Texas A&M and take classes that would help me be a county extension agent. Um, and then, talk about, you've talked to other county agents about what their job is like. You've done some research on it. And how you decide between an associate's and a bachelor's. There are some jobs that you don't need to have graduated for a 4-year degree to get. So be sure to talk about all those things in your career narrative. Try to fill up the whole section. Don't just write a couple of paragraphs and call it a day. Make sure that you are detailed, or as detailed as you can be. A couple of reminders for the online forms. Each section has boxes to type in, and most sections have an upload a file button. If it has an upload a file button, we can do it as small as minimum of 8-point font. So for your projects and your leadership and all that, I would suggest doing that. Like I said, I have templates that we can upload stuff with. Let us help you. Okay, please let us help you. The more eyes are on these things, the better the application is going to be. Just a couple of reminders. It's a competitive academic scholarship. You are competing against the best of the best 4-Hers from around the state. Don't think that because somebody had a more flashy 4-H career, maybe they had a state level something, that you're going to automatically be at the bottom of the barrel. Okay? Don't think that. We have very active kids here in Guadalupe County. There are lots of 4-Hers in the state. If you're applying for this, you are the best of the best. Okay, so make sure that you get your application turned in. The worst thing they can do is tell you no. Okay, with that said, you can use sections from this application to help apply for your county scholarships and a number of other scholarships. The essays can be taken apart and redone and used for other scholarships. So fill it out, and I think it will help you with a lot of different things. Just because something worked for somebody else in a past year doesn't mean it's going to this year. The judges are different every single year. So there's not to say, I mean, we have a good idea of what is being looked for. That's why I say, let us help you. But we can't promise you that you're going to win a scholarship. I have had some great 4-Hers over the year that were very involved and did not get a scholarship, mostly because they didn't have a certain SAT or ACT score, but that is no longer part of the process. So make sure that you just apply, even if you don't think you have much of a chance, apply. Okay, we can help you with it. The donors set the criteria, not 4-H and not us extension agents. So if you don't agree with how something is done, it's not, the donors are the ones that decide what is the requirements. So, but if you do have an issue with something, please let me know, and then I can put that out there for them in the future to consider. Make sure your grades are good, and make sure your all of your college entrance exams are good and ready and have been edited and applied for. If you have any questions, most of you have my cell phone number. That is my office number, 830-303-3889. Text me, call me, message me on Facebook, message me on Instagram. It does not matter. If I'm available, I will respond to it. What I want to do real quick is talk about some of the county or the other 4-H scholarships that are available, and then some other scholarships in general. One of the things that we will have on our website is there's going to be, you can link directly to some of the scholarship forms that are out there. I also have a calendar that's on there that will let you know when things are due. Please, it's a Google Calendar, so please download it to your calendar. And then there's going to be a list with clickable links as well. If you would like to download that, it'll be on there as well. I have some paper copies here at the office if you'd like one as well. So we have a number of Guadalupe County 4-H scholarships. This includes the Adult Leaders Association Scholarship, the Guadalupe County 4-H Scholarship, the Margie Reinhardt Trust Scholarship, the Bartoskowitz Scholarships, and a number of other ones. For these scholarships, there is one application. It is the big link at the top of the scholarship page. And that is not going to be due until March 1st. So it's a little earlier this year than it has been in the past, but we want to make sure that your schools are informed that you got a scholarship before you have all of your scholarship banquets and things like that. All of the scholarships require that you turn in a transcript and a letter of recommendation, and I will have a thing on the application. I haven't put it in there yet, but there will be a thing on the application. That way you can upload those in there as well. The Margie Reinhardt Scholarship is for kids that are graduating from Marion High School only, because she was a donor that lived in Marion and she wants her money to go to a Marion student, so we allow that. The Miranda Scholarship, it requires that you fill out a minimum 500-word essay of how 4-H has helped you or changed your life, or somebody in 4-H has helped you. And so all of that will be due online on one form by March 1st, 2026. McQueenie Lions Club has a number of scholarships. Check their website for the application. They are typically due in April of 2020, April each year, so it'll be April of 2026. We're going to move through some of these faster than others. There is the ABT Foundation Scholarship, as well as a number of the local fundraiser scholarships. I think Pecan Classic has scholarships. The Dry Boat Memorial has scholarships. They're all due about the same time, March to April of 2026. Those forms will be sent to me, and then I will upload them onto the website, the scholarship website page. So as we get those, I will try to let y'all know. I will also post it on Facebook that, okay, this application is now available. But ABT Foundation, Dry Boat Scholarship, and a number of others will be due in March and April of 2026. We do still have a County EE scholarship. It's a $500 scholarship. You have to apply by April 15th of 2026. That application is already on our website. So if you look for the TEEA scholarship, That is what that is. And so you have to turn in a copy of your last year's record book. That is the primary part of that application. There's a form that you fill out, but then there is also you turn in a copy of last year's record book. Okay. February 15th, 2026. Luling Foundation, if you are going to a career in agriculture, they do have scholarships available. They are always due March 31st of every year. You need to make sure that you read the application instructions correctly and that you send in all the numbers of the applications that you need to apply for it. They will not accept incomplete applications or applications that are missing things. Additionally, they offer a healthcare scholarship. It's a $2,000 scholarship. Those are also due March 31st. And then in early April, they will do interviews at the Luling Foundation. You probably, if you get an interview, you will hear from them. If you do not get an interview, you more than likely will not hear from them. But if you are in doubt in any way, make sure you call and ask them. Bonnie's a really nice lady. She will be happy to answer any questions that you have about that scholarship. The youth show offers scholarships. Those applications will be due on April 1st, 2026. They don't have the application up yet. A lot of these applications will go up after the first of the year. But just to put on your radar, if you have been participating in the Guadalupe County Youth Show, you should apply for one of these scholarships. Likewise, there is the Guadalupe County Fair Association. They offer several scholarships as well. That application is usually due the first week of March. So we put on here early March 2026. On that application, you do need to highlight that what county fair involvement you've had. So if you have participated in any of the contests at the fair, if you came and helped out at Kids Corral, if you were participating in the parade, and it doesn't matter if you were doing it in 4-H or not. If you did any of those things, you can apply for this scholarship. And then there are higher levels of Fair Association scholarship as well. GVC has a number of scholarships. They usually give one per school district and then to any homeschoolers that might apply. They are due February the 2nd, 2026. Only caveat on that one is that you have to be, your parents or guardians must be a member of GVC. You must be a GVC customer to get that scholarship. Our county farm bureau has the George Washington Farm Bureau Agricultural Scholarship. You have to write an essay for that one. It will be due February the 7th, and as soon as we get it, then I will post that online as well. There are a number of scholarships available from the Farm Bureau, not just Guadalupe County, but from Texas Farm Bureau. So make sure you go to the Texas Farm Bureau website, and I'll have that link on our website. That way you can look at all the scholarships that are available because it's not just this one. There are far bigger scholarships than the $500 one from our county. Oh, one thing on that Farm Bureau scholarship, in order to get it, your family does have to be a member of Farm Bureau. So now would be a good time if you're not a member yet to apply for Farm Bureau to be a member, and that way you can apply for it. The State Fair of Texas has a number of scholarships that you can go to their website and apply for. You need to have, I didn't update that number, but you need to have participated in the 2025 State Fair, the one that just ended. So if you have not participated in the State Fair, you don't have to worry about applying for that one. If you have, we encourage you to apply for it, and the deadline is March 1st, 2026. Likewise, there is the San Angelo Stock Show Scholarship. It will be due May 1st of 2026. You had to have participated in the San Angelo Stock Show to apply for it. I tried to get that link to work today. It does take you to the website, but their website's having a few issues today. So make sure you look at that one right after the first of the year. If you've gone to San Angelo Stock Show, you can apply for that scholarship. And these scholarships for State Fair, for Houston, for San Angelo are different than the ones that you would apply for from 4-H or FFA. Houston has the Exhibitor Scholarship and Hildebrand Scholarship. They are $20,000 scholarships. If you were a lamb show exhibitor in the 2025 lamb show, I think that's right, so this past spring, then you can apply for the Hildebrand Scholarship. Anybody that has participated in the Houston Livestock Show can apply for the Houston Livestock Show Exhibitor Scholarship. It is due February of 2026. Their link is active. A couple of things on this one. If you apply for it and you get the Houston scholarship, you will not be eligible to get a 4-H Houston scholarship. Okay. But 4-H works with the Houston Stock Show to make sure as many kids get the $20,000 as possible. So I would encourage you to apply for everything that you can. Another thing with this Houston Livestock Show scholarship, they can have an application. There's an application. They might have an interview. I can't recall. I don't think there's an interview associated with it for the exhibitor one. I'm not sure with the Hildebrand one. But for these Houston scholarships, you do have to have got a minimum score of 950 on the SAT or a minimum score of a 19 on the ACT. We've had lots of kids since COVID, we don't require it for the 4-H scholarship anymore, but they did bring that back a couple of years ago for the Houston Stock Show scholarship. And if you are going to apply for those, you need to have those minimum scores in order to apply. You don't want to get through the whole application process and realize that you can't finish it because you don't have those test scores. There's still maybe one more opportunity to take those tests in December. So now is the time when you should sign up for it to make sure that you can take that test and try to qualify for that one. If you're going to Texas A&M, there are for seniors attending the campus in the fall of 2026. There are several $500 scholarships available. The application process is due in 2026. I will have the who to contact on the website for y'all. And I'm sorry about some of these typos in here. I got done with ag fairs today and rushed in and tried to get as many things updated as I could while doing some other stuff for work. So I apologize for those typos, but all the stuff on the website will be up to date with when things are due and whatnot. Buck Fever scholarships will be awarded in June of 2026. There are multiple scholarships associated with that. The application deadline should be in April, and that'll be on their Buck Fever website. That's buckfever.org. Buck Fever is a great organization that has donated a lot of money to 4-Hers over the years. So I would encourage y'all to help to apply for that. And then to help with it, if you're a junior watching this, make sure you help with it next fall. We just did it last week, and it's a great organization to help out with. The GBRA has some scholarships available. Those are due pretty early. They're due in January, but it is $2,000 per year. It is a renewable scholarship, I believe. So make sure that you apply for that one. And then Texas Farm Credit has a number of scholarships as well. A lot of these, they come to me and then I will post them on our Facebook page. I will also post them on our scholarship page. That way you have them. I put some of these on here because I want y'all to realize there are hundreds of scholarships that you can apply for. Okay. Some of them are easier than others. I applied for a scholarship when I was growing up. Write a 500-word essay on how asthma has affected your life because I'm an asthmatic. There's scholarships like that. There are scholarships available that, write a 500-word essay on how you think you would survive a zombie apocalypse. So there are a number of scholarships available out there for you to apply for. You do have to look for them. And, we talk about that, as a 4-Her getting ready to go to college, being an adult, that you need to do these things yourself. And you do. But I would encourage all of the parents out there as well to keep the finger on the gas pedal to make sure that everything is applied for. It's applied for correctly. And I would encourage all you youths, to ask your parents for help. Okay. This is going to be a team effort. I'm going to help y'all as much as I can, but it's going to take you 4-Hers and the parents out there listening to make sure that this is a good process. We want to make sure that you have every opportunity to get as much money as you can because college is expensive. It doesn't matter if it's 2-year college, 4-year college. Some of you may go to grad school afterwards. Some of you may decide you're going to do a doctoral degree someday, or maybe you want to be a doctor or a lawyer. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of money. So the more money you get at this point, the better for you it's going to be down the road. Okay. You don't want to have to be like me I had scholarships, but I had to take out a lot of student loans to be able to afford college. And I'm going to be paying those loans back for a very long time. But it got me to this position that I am today. So there are ways to go to college. Even if you get no scholarships, there are still ways to get to college. But I would encourage you, people are willing to give you money if you apply. So I would encourage you to apply for as many of them as you can. That way it makes your life a little bit easier later on. With that, I'm going to stop sharing this window and I'm going to check to see if anybody has any questions in the room. So does anybody have any questions that is in our presentation room? If you do not, or you want to
Hold on,
ask
wait, we have
questions.
questions.
Okay, go ahead.
You mentioned the Lions Club and GVEC ones. I didn't write those down fast enough, but you're going to list those as ones to apply for, but may not have the application posted.
Yes, yes. So I have a list. It's a paper list, but it's got all the links on there in chronological order. We also have the Google Calendar that's on the scholarship page that'll have clickable links to all of these
Awesome.
scholarship applications as well.
Okay, and then the Word document template, we can use that and upload that into the scholarship where it has an upload option. So you're giving us the form to use with the character limit or whatever to upload. Awesome.
Correct. Yeah. And I'll also have because when you get them, they're just going to be like empty boxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I will also upload an example of kind of what they look like. That way, and then, my suggestion for all those boxes was at first, don't pay attention to, trying to keep it all on one page. Put as much stuff as you can in there and we will whittle it down and combine things and make it fit into the one page. I haven't not gotten stuff to fit on one page yet. So we will work on that as it gets closer to time.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions? As usual, if you have any questions at any time, it doesn't matter. Please let me know. I am here to help you guys get money. That is my job. My job as a county agent, my whole career has been to try to give y'all a better opportunity in 4-H than I had, and I had a pretty good 4-H career. So I want y'all to be able to do all the things and get to go to college and not have to spend $100,000 of your own money to do it. So if you ever have questions, just please let me know. That's what I'm here for.
This is very much appreciated, Matt, and comprehensive, and you did an awesome job. Thank you. And appreciate this.
Well, I will get this video uploaded. That way, in case anybody has not seen it yet, I will get this video uploaded probably tomorrow afternoon. We'll get that application or the scholarship website updated. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know and we will get it taken care of. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.